synapses in the internet underground. Everyone knows who I am. The world is my chessboard and war is the tool of the game. Don't hate me, I'm just a messenger. Say what you want about me, but I speak the truth. The truth, the truth. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
What's going on, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show across the internet and throughout the world. And let them know that the True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. Once again, episode number 751, episode number 751 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And once again, spread it around the internet and throughout the world, baby, all right? All right, folks, it's been a long time since I've conducted a True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And I just wanted to say that I was not necessarily optimistic about doing this broadcast. All right. And thank you, Jeffrey Ghosteen, with a Buy Me a Coffee. You service my schmeckle? Well, no. And we got some serious things to talk about. All right. Now, Hambolius, your voice sounds scuffed a little bit. Well, that's what happens when you do 9-hour shows on, the other show I do, The Ghost Show. But look, I think that it's important that I do this show. I think that we need to discuss things that are happening in this country. And I think I feel a little optimism, especially when it comes to the American Party. But before we get into anything else, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I usually talk about on here. We're going to begin with the markets, a little domestic news, and of course, we're going to end it with some international news, okay? And Devious Dave, it sounds like you got a sore throat. I don't have a sore throat, dude. This is the unfortunate side effect of using your voice for 9 straight hours, which, of course, nobody on the Ghost Show really gives a shit about. So, it is what it is. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and get to the markets. All right, folks? And by the way, everybody in Rumble that's trolling, I'm going to kick you out of here. All right? I'm not even joking around. I have no time to troll. So if you're going to be trolling in here, I'm going to kick your ass out of here. I'm not even joking around. All right? Anyway, put the PC shot on. All right? We've got the markets here. And, of course, it's not looking good. We've got the taco effect when it comes to the tariffs and Trump. And let me tell you something right now. It is not cool what is happening in this market. It is being pumped and dumped every time Trump comes out and makes a statement on tariffs. And let me tell you something right now. This is it's really tanking our market. It's making people believe that whenever Trump says something, they go into the market. Whenever he doesn't say something, they get out of the market. That's not how the market is supposed to operate. All right? That's not how the market is supposed to operate. And as a matter of fact, Trolling the interwebs, who just hooked it up with a $5 Rumble rant, said, cheers, Ghost. Here's to a good one today. Well, I appreciate it. Hold on, let me kick some of these people out of here. Kick these people out. All right, I'm not joking around. Anyway, Trolling the interwebs, it happens to be an Inner Circle member, also a True Capitalist Radio chat member, and he's actually a rather astute options player, and not even he can play the options in this market because of all the risk that is happening, and it has everything to do with whatever the fuck Trump says. And that's not how this market is supposed to operate. Now, as you can see, we saw negativity today in the market because of Trump announcing yet again tariffs, this time in August. All right, so this is where we're at this point in time. And Roxas, thank you for doing a TCR. Thank you very much. All right. Anyway, look, we're still dealing with the side effects of COVID. Now, what happened during COVID was we had a lot of folks enter into the market that had no business being in this market. And they made money during COVID because, lest we forget, I mean, during the month of April and May, during that time of 2020, the Dow went down to about 18,000 points. All right, and the NASDAQ accordingly. Same with the S&P. So anybody could have bought anything at that time and made some major money. And these people are addicted to that type of easy money. A lot of these investors that are amateur, that are retail investors, are still clinging to that high like a degenerate gambler. And instead of actually playing the markets to what traditional investors used to invest in, which was profits, which was projected growth, that sort of thing, people are just based on some idiot's suggestion on Reddit, what somebody says on a message board or in a Discord chat. This is how people are operating, and we have to shake these people out. We have to shake the retail investors out. And because we had so much money printed during COVID, no one knows when that's going to happen. I mean, we have nothing but negativity happening when it comes to the American economy today. And let me just give you an example. All right. Because of Trump's tariffs, take a look at this. The U.S. dollar is on track for the worst year in modern history. And it's because of these tariffs. These tariffs are making our dollar weaker because whoever we implement tariffs on is going to use another currency to trade in. And that's what's degrading our dollar in the international community, which I think is very dangerous. I think it's very dangerous because the U.S. dollar plays a vital role in not just our economy and international trade, but our economic influence in the international community. Prior to Trump coming into office, 51% of world transactions were traded in U.S. dollars. That has considerably went down, I could imagine, since this very belligerent tariff administration. So once again, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Devious Dave, the ban on commercial supersonic flights was repealed with the BBB. Very interesting times. Well, I don't even want to, don't get me started on the big, beautiful bill. I'm going to get to that in just a second. But let's get through finance first. Not looking good for the United States economy. I have no idea what the hell people are investing in. I tried to tell you all in 2024 that if Trump was elected and if he does implement this tariff, that everything across the board is going to go up in price. And that's exactly what's happening right now. And I said that during the initial beginning of the first administration, you're going to see a drop in price in food. And the reason is, folks, is because once Trump implemented those tariffs, the trading partners that would traditionally buy our agriculture and our livestock cut those orders. They cut those orders, and as a result, I mean, these are commodities. So these producers have to sell these things fast or they're going to rot. So we saw that initial decrease in prices. It was very slight, but I told you that this was going to happen. Folks, once this passes, the next cycle, the next grow year, the producers are going to produce a lot less. And I said that what's going to happen because of this aggressive tariff and immigration policy, that we were going to see crops left to rot. and that the producers next year and the following years thereafter are not going to produce as much food as they used to, which is going to affect the amount of food that's available in America and the price. And look, I mean, put the PC shot on. ICE raids on U.S. farms leave crops rotting. I mean, the prognosticator of prognosticator strikes again. All right, if you think that prices are coming down in commodities and food, you've got another thing coming. So even though we have the dollar, at least on an international scale, losing its value, it is still very, very valuable in the United States. All right, so it would behoove everybody to save money. I tried to tell everybody right when the Federal Reserve rose interest rates, February of 2022, March 2022? I tried to tell everybody that cash will be king, and that's exactly what's happening in America. Because, look, the value of the U.S. dollar, going back to this story here, this value, when it comes to the U.S. dollar, is paired with other currencies. And that's why the value of the dollar on an international scale is not worth as much.
Cats.
But here in America, we are definitely going to have to save the money, and everybody is going to buy, and everybody's going to need to sell here shortly. I'm not going to say that. Something Gasser. The Jews have compromised our government. That's why Trump is too scared to drop the Epstein files. He's in them, and the rest of the Jews in our government. Well, I don't know what's the motivating factor on the Epstein files, but we're going to get to that in just a second once we get through the markets, okay? Put the PC shot on. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial down today. It was down over 1%, came up slightly, closing out the Dow at 0.94%. Closing out the Dow at 44,406.36 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We've got the S&P 500 also down today, 0.79%. S&P 500 closing out at 6,229.98 points for the S&P 500. NASDAQ, same story. It is down 0.92%, closing out the NASDAQ at 20,412.52 points. One of the most inflated indices, in my opinion. All right, now gold, I mean, people are going to safety nets. I tried to tell everybody gold and silver right now, as well as saving cash, is a good play. Gold right now was up slightly today, 0.09%. Current price for gold is $3,346 per troy ounce of gold. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the commodities prices here before we get to anything else, okay? Now, let's take a look at these commodities. Put the PC shot on. Now, once again, crude oil is somewhat coming back up after going down as low as, $58 a barrel? It is up today, $1.34, closing out, or I should say the current price of crude oil is $67.81 per barrel of WTI sweet crude. And as you can see, gasoline, at least for the week, is going up 4.24%. Heating oil, for some reason, is going up on the week, 6.29%. So energy commodities are going up, at least for the month. So keep your eye on that. We already talked about gold. Take a look at silver. What have I tried to tell you all about silver? I've been trying to tell you all to accumulate silver when it was as low as $15. All right? The metals, baby, the metals. Anyway, silver is down slightly today. It's down 14 cents, but the current price for silver, $36.79 per troy ounce of silver. I tried to tell you, baby. I tried to tell you. And Kits does a flip with a rumble rant. What's worse is that the farmers deported by ICE will more than likely have their land bought and their farms destroyed and replaced with apartments and shitty tech labs. Well, that's what people voted for. What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? I'm just a messenger here, just like the song at the beginning of the damn fucking show says. All right? So, once again, I am still bullish on gold and silver, at least until this administration is no longer in power. Because I don't think that this administration knows what it's doing when it comes to the economic policy. All right? Now, take a look at commodities here. Now, as I stated, we're starting to see a decrease in commodities because producers had their orders canceled by China and other trading partners in response to the tariffs by the administration. And we're seeing the price. I mean, take a look at the red on the weekly and monthlies. All right, you're seeing it. But this is temporary, just like I told you all last year when I said if Trump was elected, this was going to happen. Very temporary. All right, this time next year, the prices of whatever is in the red today is going to be double, if not triple. Okay, so that's why you have the administration trying to take a victory lap for bringing down prices of groceries. It's only temporary, believe me. Now, even though you see a lot of red in these agricultural commodities here, let's take a look at where it counts. And I'm talking about beef, boy. Beef. Nothing has come down from beef. Nothing. All right, maybe beef for the day here. It was down 1.56%. But take a look at these fucking prices. Take a look at live cattle. All right? I mean, it's not at all-time highs, but it's goddamn near. I mean, take a look at that 10-year chart on that. And you wonder why you can't have a steak. You can't buy a choice ribeye steak for fucking $30. That's it right there. And there is no changing that, because if you take a read into the beef market, we are at the lowest beef herds, I think, in the past 40 years. We're in the lowest beef herds. So this is why we're seeing such high prices with beef. And beef is very important, folks. I mean, if you don't eat beef, in my opinion, you're less productive. But that's my opinion. And what's up, the real J Money? Wink, wink. Happy Baller Monday. Don't forget to have an inner circle chat after. Lots of diaper prices to discuss. Take a cough drop. Well, it'll eventually remedy itself. I know my vocals. It'll eventually remedy itself. Thank you, J Money, with the $10 Rumble rant. Cheers to you, man. But getting back to, once again, the beef prices, that was live cattle. Let's take a look at the general beef price. All right, let's take a look at the 10-year on that. Very close to all-time highs. We were just at all-time highs November 25th, 2024. Hasn't come down much from that. Hasn't come down much from that. So these beef prices are not going to come down anytime soon. So as I stated, going back to 2022, March, when the Federal Reserve first started raising rates, I started telling people that, hey, you should buy your beef in bulk. You should buy it as a big-ass slab of fucking ribeye or New York strip, slice it yourself, freeze it, make sure you get those freezer bags that suck out all the air so, you know, the beef can stay fresh. And beef can actually survive for a little over a year without losing its integrity. So, you know, to stay ahead of these beef prices, I think that, you know, I would suggest people look into that. Now, eggs was such a big news issue when it came to the administration in the first 3 months because eggs were really, really expensive. So the administration did whatever it took to bring prices down. And I think I said on a few shows ago, they went to Brazil and South America to import these eggs in order to artificially bring them down. And they did so. There it is. All right, there it is. We went from all-time highs. Now they flooded the market with eggs, even though they weren't raised in America, even though they weren't made in America. They were able to remedy the egg problem by importing a shitload of Latin American eggs. FYI. Okay, so that's how they solved that, but that's even temporary. So not looking good, in my opinion, when it comes to prices of food, when it comes to the dollar in comparison to other currencies in the world. And look, I think I talked about this in the past several shows, but it bears repeating. Put the PC shot on. We got to remember that almost 2 million student loan borrowers could have their wages garnished. All right, this summer. 2 million student loan borrowers. Now, that is going to be a shock to everyone who has a college debt loan. And the irony is, folks, during this whole big, beautiful bill debate that they were having in this Republican-dominated Congress, not one time did I hear these young people talk about, well, wait a minute, y'all are going to add $5 trillion to the already, 30-something trillion dollar debt. And you're not going to, throw us a bone by, bailing us out with this college debt. They didn't even think about it. They didn't even bat an eye about it. So I find it ironic that during this whole debate, we did not hear one peep out of all these idiots that have student loan debt, and it's because they haven't been paying on it. They have not been paying on it since COVID. There's been a moratorium on this shit ever since COVID. Now, you would think, considering all the stimulus money and all the ease at which you could get money in the gig economy and jobs that were happening post-COVID, you would think that that would have been the perfect opportunity for some of these college kids to pay down their debt. Nope. So this is going to have a major effect on the economy. And what's going on to Duke Orville? Duke Orville hooking it up with 10 gifted subs over there at Rumble. And by the way, we are being multicasted on Rumble, on Kick, on YouTube, on Twitter as well, or X. Also on Trovo, D-Live, and Odyssey. YouTube, too, also. Don't forget, I think I said YouTube. But anyway, once again, this is another thing that I think people need to be reminded of when it comes to the economy. Now, let's make a transition, no pun intended, to some domestic news up in here, all right? Now, I think that the number one subject of today's news is this. The DOJ and FBI conclude that Jeffrey Epstein had no client list and committed suicide. Now, this right here is a blockbuster bombshell that could potentially rip apart Maga to pieces. It's already doing so. And why? Because Maga, during the 2024 campaign, suggested that they would release all information relating to Jeffrey Epstein. All right? Even some of the MAGA influencers that have now become a part of the deep state, I'm talking about Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, the 1 and 2 over there at the FBI, they're also suggesting that Epstein killed himself, nothing to see here, even though both these guys were proponents before they became FBI leadership. I mean, they were proponents of releasing all the Epstein files. They were the ones that said that they believed that Epstein didn't kill himself. And now you've got the Department of Justice under Pam Bondi, the FBI under Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, saying that there is no client list and he committed suicide. Now, lest we forget that Pam Bondi had suggested in a press conference that there were hundreds of videos depicting Epstein and others with children. I mean, do y'all remember her saying that? And all of a sudden, there's nothing to see here. All right? Epstein killed himself. Nothing to see here. And let me tell you, this is ripping apart MAGA, and rightfully so. Because these people who believed in Trump, who believed that he would release all the information, you know, JFK files, aliens, and the Epstein, nothing, absolutely nothing. And it suggests that Elon Musk, who has since turned on the administration, who had suggested that the whole reason why the Epstein files haven't been released is because Trump is all over them. Trump is all over them. And you can see it in MAGA. Did you see Alex fucking Jones? Alex Jones almost started crying. Alex Jones, like, put the PC shot. Look at this. I'm going to throw up. Alex Jones breaks down in tears while condemning Trump over Epstein cover-up. It's legitimately breaking apart MAGA because it's one of the big promises that Trump said that he was going to do. And now these MAGA-tards who got rich off of riding the coattails of Trump and being a Trump propagandist, now they find themselves in a little bit of a moral pickle. Now they are seeing that, hey, I can't spin this to my tard followers. I can't spin this because I was a proponent of suggesting that the Epstein files be released. I was a proponent of saying that Epstein didn't kill himself. And now Alex Jones doesn't know what to do. Here, let me play what he said here. Let's play a little bit of it. All right.
Well, I woke up this morning and turned my phone on, and there were hundreds of text messages saying, "Oh my God, the DOJ just
put
out a letter." I know you've all seen now, saying there is no Epstein client list. There never was any blackmail operation. Epstein killed himself, and the investigation's closed. So everybody wants to know what I think. Well, I know what's going on.
What's going on, Alex?
And so I'll tell you. Trump had two ways to go with all of this. He could prosecute.
Now, I think this is decent analysis by Alex here, so that's why I'm going to play this whole thing. But I think that he's got a little bit of a nail on the head, and that's why he feels sick about it. He feels disgusted about it. And by the way, Kirk Johnson, they're trying to claim the camera in his cell were off. Now, all of a sudden, they were able to recover footage. I know, it was just footage of outside the door, for Christ's sake, man. It was footage from outside the door. Now, listen to what he says here, because remember, Alex Jones, was a huge instrument in getting Trump elected. Huge propagandist. And now he can't cover it up. I mean, all these MAGA-tards, they can't go back and spin this. They're going to lose all their bread and butter. They're going to lose all their listeners that believed in everything they said. So now MAGA is falling apart. Listen to this analysis. I don't think it's horrible. I think that he's on the money here.
All of these incredibly prominent people, household names, or they could use the information to blackmail the deep state. I've done deep research, have a lot of contacts, and know Trump's MO. And he's not into kids. He's not into being peed on and Russian hotels. All that was lies. We now know from the CIA and Brennan and the very crew running the Epstein operation. But the reason that you are seeing this deep sixth is because the CIA with the Mossad and MI6 was running Epstein, and it was an official U.S. government operation.
It was not a U.S. government operation. It was an exclusive Mossad operation in order to gain influence in the highest powers of not only our government, but corporate America, NGOs, academia, etc.
Multinational. And it was the family business going back to Ghislaine Maxwell's dad, and that's all on record. So if Trump was to actually prosecute this, it would bring down the CIA. And so
no, it wouldn't. It would bring down Israel, and it would bring down the Mossad, and it would already ruin an already soured situation between the American public and Israel in general.
That's why you've had Comey, who controlled the files over at the FBI with the CIA, but on that end of the DOJ, having his daughter do all the main cover-ups, not just with the Epstein and Maxwell case, but obviously P. Diddy and the rest of it. So this is the swamp winning. The question is Trump's DOJ actually using this to control the deep state? Or are they just so overwhelmed by it, they are tapping out?
I think that he knows that he's involved in it and doesn't want to have anything to do with it, Alex. All right? Trump is involved in it. I mean, they wouldn't have gone through all this charade of releasing a bogus fucking video outside the doorstep of the cell of Epstein. They wouldn't have done all this shit. Play it.
Because, let me explain logic here. And from all obvious inside sources, we're the ones that broke with the FBI whistleblowers, O'Boyle and others, Seraphin, all of this that was first unfolding, 5 months ago when they were supposed to, have this 14 terabytes. They'd sent it out to the FBI field offices for investigation. And Pam Bondi went on Fox a bunch of times. So did some U.S. attorneys from New Jersey and said, oh, yeah, we've seen it, hundreds of new victims and videos and all this horrible stuff.
Now, here's Alex Jones quoting the Bondi quote that I said earlier, that Bondi came out in a press conference and said there are hundreds of tapes, hundreds of videos with sexuality and rape of minors, of children. What happened to all that shit?
Kids being raped. Hundreds of new victims were going to be releasing it. So you wouldn't say all that if you were planning to cover it up from the beginning. So something has changed along the way, and it all points towards this being used to blackmail the deep state. I'm not endorsing it. I think clearly this is what Musk learned about a few months ago, and looked like he aged 10 years overnight.
That's right.
Freaked out.
That's right.
And then I think the conscience had to come out and say what he said. I mean, even people like Cat Turd, who is just the quintessential will not question anything.
Dude, Cat Turd's the kind of guy who sticks his fist in his ass and claims that he's his own puppet master. He's a piece of shit. Anyway, play it.
And the Trump administration is completely freaked out now. I mean, no one is buying this. Patrick McDavid's had really good breakdowns of it all. Jack Posobiec said, okay, so Ghislaine Maxwell is innocent because she was found guilty of sex trafficking. So how do you say there's no trafficking or blackmail or any of this? It's just absolute horseshit.
Yeah, I mean, look, Alex Jones recognizes that this is absolute crap. That the administration, Trump administration, is purposely putting on a charade of nothing to see here, and everybody who has been out here promoting that if we elect Trump, that we're going to see the Epstein files, that we're going to know who the people were that committed these acts of child rape and all gone. And all these influencers like Alex Jones, their people are looking at them cross-eyed like they just farted on their Sunday suit and saying, hey, didn't you have the inside track with Trump? Didn't you visit with him? I mean, didn't he say he was going to release the Epstein files? They can't spin this. And Kits does a flip. How long does it take until Trump tries to make questioning Epstein illegal? Yeah, no shit. No shit, Kits does a flip. And then we got Kirk Johnson. All of it ties back to Israel and the Mossad. I know, that's what I just said. Purple Juice, finally TCR. Cheers, Ghost. Thank you very much for the Rumble rants, man. Now, look, the only reason that I'm playing this because Alex Jones looks absolutely dejected. I mean, this guy almost had his whole life upended because he was protecting and being a propagandist for Trump. Here, play the rest of this.
Let's face, and it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster. Trump is doing a lot of good, and obviously the deep state's trying to destroy me for supporting him. It's been hell, and a lot of good's happening. I'll say this. This is very, very painful.
Yeah, look at them.
And nauseating. I'm actually physically nauseated in the last 3 hours since I got
Look,
up.
he starts breaking down. Look at me, starts breaking down.
Of course, I instantly knew what was happening when I saw the information. I've talked about the different scenarios here.
He's breaking down. Look at him.
Obviously, there's nothing the globalists wouldn't do to keep this from coming out. They've already tried to kill Trump repeatedly. Had they rolled over? I see a lot of signs that, Trump's pretty much in charge now. And so all evidence points towards them using the information to control the deep state. So meet the new boss, same as the old boss. The Who song won't get fooled again. But
look at the pain on his face.
I'm going to say this in
look
closing.
Look at the pain on this
today,
guy's
11 a.m.
face.
Central when my show kicks off at Infowars.com/show and on here on X and on radio stations across the country. We are seeing 96% reduction in smuggling of humans across the border.
Look, here's the spin.
They have raided a lot of people.
Here's the spin. Look at him blinking. He's in pain, this fucking guy.
Little kids.
He's in pain.
That's the way that works. These are juveniles. That's the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of missing kids, millions of kids total. And so I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. But at the same time, the fact that this is a key, the fact that they didn't just shut up about this, even though they were going to use it for blackmail.
Just shut up.
Or it was too dangerous, seismic.
Why didn't you just shut up about this? Huh? That's his advice. Why didn't you just shut up about this?
For the system to bring it out. And I'm not defending that. I'm saying that would be the thinking. You don't then have Kash Patel and Bongino like deer in the headlights looking like they're hostages.
Yeah, they do. They really look like
saying,
they are hostages.
Oh, no, we've seen, everything. There's nothing there. No, he killed himself and put out this stupid video from outside the cell bay with cops dragging trash cans around going, look, this proves he killed himself. You don't do all that unless it's part of a deal with the system that you've got to go out and say that so that you're not complicit in the lie.
That is exactly what I believe is happening. I believe that there's a deal made by the administration because Trump's fingerprints are all over Epstein and the Epstein files. And these people like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi, because they were put in power by Trump, they can't backstab them. Because then there goes their potential career as being an FBI man or a G-man or a potential politician and that sort of thing. So I absolutely believe what Alex is saying is absolutely accurate here. And hold on, we got a couple of Rumble rants. We got $10 from J Money. Are you and Alex Jones finally finding common ground? No. Collab soon? 2 fat Texans on a show. Well, no, I don't think we're going to collab anytime soon. I'll tell you that. Devia, thank you very much there, Jay Money, for the 10. Anyway, man, cheers to you. Devious Dave, have you ever seen a picture of Alex Jones and Blair White together? Yeah, I mean, isn't she like kind of touching his fucking junk or something? I don't know. And the base department with a $5 Rumble rant. If the Epstein list never existed, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? Shit smells more than India on a hot day. Well, first of all, I don't agree with your last statement, but I do agree that if there is no Epstein list, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail? I think that's a very, very good question, and thank you, the base department, for bringing that up. But once again, I do believe what Alex Jones is saying is accurate, that there is some kind of deal in order for, I don't know, I mean, I'm not privy to what the deal was. But it's obvious that this whole charade of, parading Pam Bondi and saying that there's nothing to see here and that, it just smells to high hell. Let me finish. Let me let Alex Jones finish, and then we'll go over it.
And that's why they look like they're being tortured, because I think both men have had integrity, and I think you see them losing their souls on live TV. This is going to be an unmitigated disaster. I don't know how they got Trump and the DOJ to do this, because the public is not buying it. No one is buying it. So I never saw any evidence of Trump involved in any of the stuff that came out. It was all fake. The fake Jane Does, all the crap, E. Jean Carroll, the crazy leftist cat lady, all of it. So now by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it.
Yes.
I mean, it's just, you
look,
cannot.
Alex, he was always part of it, man. I mean, in 2016, I didn't believe it. But then as time has gone on, and, the Michael Wolff interview with Epstein, and Epstein claiming that him and fucking Trump were fucking best friends for like over 10 years. And the party footage from 92 from Mar-a-Lago, him and Epstein, he's a part of it, man. Why else would he do this? I mean, Alex is trying to figure out, well, maybe they're trying to blackmail the deep state. They're trying to do... He's a part of it. That's why Elon came out and said it. And I thought it took balls for Elon to come out and say that. I'll be honest with you. Now, play the last part, because Alex Jones completely breaks down. He completely breaks down right here.
Not to see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. It's because
look at him.
Because I have integrity.
Look at him.
And
oh my, he's crying.
I just really need
he's fucking crying
to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out. And, the left, they're all complicit. They're openly promoting pedophilia. We know they're pure evil. And they'll think it's all funny. Oh, look, Alex is sad. Maga's tearing itself apart. Your globalist masters literally want you to eat bugs and live in a 5G, 200 square foot coffin apartment.
Hey, I used to say that.
Look at the left.
You
Look at
fucking
them all,
piece of shit. You're ripping me off.
Looking like dead zombies. I mean, come on. You guys are sick. And so you shouldn't look at those of us that have a soul still and have integrity in pain over this and celebrate, you dumb pieces of fucking shit.
Whoa!
You're going against your own self-preservation, serving this evil globalist system in BlackRock and the New World Order.
But Alex, You helped bring in somebody into power that's obviously integrating themselves with the deep state and helping facilitate the deep state's arrival into the police state, which is what you spent your whole career supposedly speaking against, Alex. So give me a break. All right, spare me your fucking tears, Alex Jones, because you're complicit in this coming police state. All right? And by the way, it's not just Alex Jones breaking down all the MAGA influencers. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this bullshit. No one believes this. MAGA heavyweights flatly reject Trump's DOJ claims that there was no Epstein client list. All right? And of course, there is the footage I was discussing just a little while ago of Epstein and Trump in 92 at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. Look at all these people. All right? Look, these are all magatard influencers. All right? Chris Prather. Where's the Epstein info? The American people were promised. Look, there's Jack Prosobic, who should be in jail, if you want my opinion, because he's a fucking propagandist piece of shit. We were told there was more coming, that answers were out there and would be provided. Oh, Jack Prosobic, what a piece of shit. All right, look at Robbie Starbuck. All right, look at that. There's Cernovich. All right, the guy who wrote a blog about blowing a tranny who's supposed to be some fucking mouthpiece for the conservative movement. All right. No one is believing that Trump got the Epstein cover-up. All right, I'm Mike Cernovich. All right. I don't even know who the hell fucking Laverne Spicer is. I don't know who the hell that whore is, but she doesn't believe it. And here's this dull hair sporting half a fruit Benny Johnson. All right. All the magatards, all right, they were the ones that told all their followers that, hey, if we elect Trump, we're going to know the truth. We're going to expose Epstein. We're going to expose all the evil people that molested children and raped children. No, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Who the hell is Kyle Becker? All right, MAGA is in complete meltdown mode. All right. And much like what Alex Jones said in his little diatribe, I don't know why Trump would do this. I don't know why Trump would do this. I mean, he had to have known that this would have caused a major rift within his movement, and yet he still did. Look, there's Patrick Bet-David. So I don't get it either, other than the fact that, I mean, he's made a deal with the devil. And that not only is Trump a part of the deep state, he's facilitating the deep state. I mean, take a look at this. Look at this shit. Put the PC shot on. All right? Is this you, J.D. Vance? What possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping Epstein clients secret? And then, come today, DOJ, FBI find no evidence Epstein was murdered and kept a client list. All right? The contradictions keep coming. I mean, here's James O'Keefe. All right, put the PC shot on. No Epstein client list. What about the speed dial list names in the Epstein bedroom that his organization uncovered? Here, let me go ahead and play that, because, I mean, there's so much contradictory evidence that suggests a cover-up by the DOJ, FBI, and Trump himself. All right, put the PC shut up. Play this shit.
Inside Epstein's bedroom, O'Keefe Media Group continues our exclusive tour of the private island formerly owned by the alleged sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, and looking inside each of the buildings on the island. Today, we're going to bring you inside Jeffrey Epstein's bedroom. We've previously shown you the kitchen and the library, but in Epstein's bedroom, we've made our most dramatic discovery yet. Landline telephones that show pre-programmed speed dial buttons labeled with names. You see the phones on the side of the bedroom tables here. We're going to take a look at these phones and the names.
Now, there are names on these phones. There are names on these phones that he's going to uncover. I just want to get to some rumble rants. Kirk Johnson, the FBI is too concerned with equipping children and schizophrenics with military-grade weapons and grooming them into shooting up places to admit they're Mossad puppets involved in child sex ring. That's pretty deep there, Kirk Johnson. And then we got Ghost Has a Loose Ass. What kind of fucking name is that? Ghost, if Alex can have a sensitive side, can we see yours as well? No. All right. Anyway, let's continue. Once again, James O'Keefe giving us a first-hand look at Epstein's bedroom and the numbers that are on his phone. Here, let's play this.
Names on them. But first, the room itself, sparsely furnished. On the desk, you see what's known as a phrenology skull. Phrenology is a debunked pseudoscience linking skull shape to personality
phrenology
traits. On one bedside table.
What is this, the movie Men at Work?
It says Little St. James, that's the name of the island, printed at the bottom of each page. And a set of reading glasses of similar type worn by Epstein in deposition footage. The most striking detail, we see a Panasonic console phone on each bedside
landline
table. The multiple lines are labeled. The speed dial buttons.
Now here
the names
is
of Epstein's staff
the
and
names.
associates. These are the individuals Epstein called most frequently from his private island. Nobody has ever seen these before. We assume the FBI and the Department of Justice has these, but
you would
have not
assume.
released it.
You
Here
would
you
assume.
have NY office. That's Jeff Epstein's New York City office. This is Karina Shuliak, Epstein's last girlfriend.
His last squeeze
Darren
looks pretty young, by the way.
Darren Indike, an Epstein advisor and lawyer. You have Rich office. That's Richard D. Kahn, Epstein's advisor and lawyer. And Patrick Sell, that's Patrick McMullen, an Epstein associate. And STC office, that's the Special Tax Office of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here we have another phone that was actually in a different room, but we see some of the same names and some new names. We see a Carlos, a Danny, which looks to be scribbled out with Kim written above it, a Mike, an Anna, and a Juggly. Now, what's interesting about Juggly is, at first we thought it was Ghislaine Maxwell's nickname, but from what we could see online, her nickname, Epstein referred to her as G-Max. Don't know who Juggly is. But
Juggly?
You in the audience can help us solve that mystery. These are all of the known associates that Epstein would call on speed dial. Again, we assume the United States government has this. This is the first time anybody has
You would assume that, all right? But nothing to see here when it comes to the Epstein situation. And as I stated, Maga is in complete meltdown right now. Is an absolute complete meltdown, and they don't know how to fucking react. I mean, once again, I showed you, all these people that they cannot believe that this is happening. Now, could potentially break up MAGA, and I think that this is a good thing. And the reason I say it's a good thing is because I think that this administration has gone out of control in so many ways. And I don't think that anybody is truly in charge. That's why we get so many contradictory messages. That's why it's a schizophrenic foreign policy. That's why it's a helter-skelter economic policy. I mean, it's ridiculous. And Devious Dave, I see the radio graffiti call-in number on there. Shut up, Devious Dave. And Ugly Man, I see Jag's number. All right, shut up, asshole, all right? But then we got to talk about Elon Musk. Okay? Now, Elon Musk took a jab here recently and called Trump or he mocked Trump after calling him a train wreck. Here, let's play it. Here, let's play it.
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon.
And this is where Trump suggested, are you going to deport Elon? I mean, deport Elon?
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid.
I mean, doesn't make any sense. Now, what makes this so dangerous is that if he was going to deport Elon Musk, then that suggests that Trump already knew that Elon was illegal and yet allowed Elon to aggregate our data and allowed him to have access to every private branch of the government. So how the hell can this guy suggest that he's going to deport Elon Musk when he allowed Elon Musk access to every private department in the government? I mean, doesn't that call to question the judgment of Trump himself? I mean, give me a break. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. And that's why, folks, in my opinion, Elon Musk is now going against the administration. He's going against the administration with creating his own party called the American Party. Now, all this is very abstract at the moment, and there really is no platform defined by the American Party, Musk. But one of the things that Musk is very, very much put a point of emphasis on is fiscal conservatism. So that's something that I have always been a proponent of, fiscal conservatism. And what really got him upset was this big, beautiful bill in which you had Republicans telling their constituents that they're cutting. You know, oh, we're cutting the budget. You know, we're cutting SNAP benefits. We're cutting Medicaid. We're cutting Social Security. We're cutting this. We're cutting that. And then at the same time, they add $5 trillion to the national debt. And that's just for this year alone. That's just for this year alone. And that puts us on a very, very bad trajectory. Now, folks, let me explain to you why this is so dangerous. Because we can't continue to sustain these levels of debts. We're at $37 trillion. We're at $37 trillion in debt. And folks, you want to know why, the real reason why Trump is implementing these tariffs? You want to know why? Because the amount of money collected in taxes in the United States can no longer pay for the interest on our debt. All right? Because before, the accumulated taxes by corporations and individuals, that helped pay, and that paid the whole interest on our debt. It can't anymore. So now tariffs are, once again, another tax on the American people in order for them to pay for the interest. So whenever you hear Trump saying, oh, yeah, we collected $100 billion in tariffs, yeah, that's great. What is that going to fund? All right, what it's going to fund is the payment on the interest on the debt so we can do this bullshit another year. And I appreciate that Elon Musk is putting a point of emphasis on being fiscal conservative. All right. And what, trolling the interwebs, a vote for Elon Musk is a vote for Indian immigration. And Red Eyes Black Dragon, Trump is starting to sound like sloppy Joe Biden. And Hill Dog, kind of tired and confused. Yeah, no shit. Now, look, since everybody is going to bring up the immigration situation, let's go ahead and talk about it. First and foremost, okay, America was built on immigration, okay? I mean, we've had several waves of immigration that have helped build this country, all right? I mean, we had a wave of immigration after the Civil War, okay? And that helped build the railroads, that helped build the infrastructure, that helped expansionism within the North American continent, okay? Then at the turn of the 20th century, we brought in a bunch of immigrants. Remember the Ellis Island stories and shit. And those immigrants helped build the East Coast. Okay? The whole East Coast, what it is today is because of all the immigrants that we brought in from Ellis Island. And we have had waves of this. I mean, the most recent one was Ronald Reagan giving amnesty to a bunch of immigrants at the time, which everybody thought was going to be the end of America, the end of this, the end of that. And it wasn't. As a matter of fact, the 80s was one of the best times in American history. So this idea, and look, this is birthed based upon a bunch of Nazi LARPing internet losers. They're the biggest ones that want to point out, oh, look, this is an immigrant. That's an immigrant. America. You should be hiring Americans. I'm an employer, you fucking asshole. Americans don't want to work. Americans do not want to work. All right? I'm not saying every American doesn't want to work, but 1 in 3 Americans. Let me repeat that one more again. You can ask AI if you don't fucking believe me. 1 in 3 Americans collect a government entitlement. Over 65% of American people, natural-born American people, are collecting a fucking government entitlement out of my pocket, out of the productive's pocket. Okay? How dare these groups of people, the people that are a part of the 65% that are collecting off of my fucking tax dollars, how dare them think that they have any fucking say-so on what the fuck is supposed to happen in this economy? Oh, that corporations and small business should hire Americans. You don't think that the small business and corporations want to hire Americans? They don't want to work. They don't want to work. All right? And you're going to see the side effects. I already said it at the beginning of the show. All right? Crops are being left to rot. All right? All right? Crops are being left to rot because of the ice raids. And let me tell you, if you think food prices and grocery store prices are high now, you ain't seen nothing yet. So for all you people that are trying to dissuade me from entertaining the American Party because, oh, we might have some pro-immigration tenant within the American Party, that ain't going to dissuade me from it. All right, that ain't going to dissuade me from it. On the contrary, that's going to make me more wanting to be a part of the American Party because we need a legit immigration policy. We need an immigration policy on what is defined asylum. What is defined asylum? We need an immigration policy where we vet people that we let in. We need an immigration policy where we test these people and making sure they know the Constitution. And that, in my personal opinion, should be a major tenet of the American Party. An emphasis on the literal interpretation of the Constitution, not an abstract interpretation or a downright trampling of it like what this administration is fucking doing. And let me tell you, if we put a point of emphasis on the Constitution, and if this becomes a tenet in the American Party, I'm down with the American Party. I'm down with the American Party because we're fiscal conservatives, because that's obviously a tenet. That's something that Elon Musk has put a point of emphasis on since day one. And if we emphasize a literal interpretation of the Constitution, not some loose abstract interpretation, a literal interpretation, because that's what America is. America is not people. It's not a race. It's not a culture. All right? It's a group of people that came together in this experiment called the United States of America in order to pursue better lives, better opportunities, raise your children with better opportunities in better schools, in better businesses. America is about pursuing whatever life that you want without being infringed upon by the government, without being infringed upon by criminal elements. I mean, that's what America's about. All right. I mean, what do you people think America is? It's the Constitution. All right. That's what America is. And the people that protect that document. Because if we don't protect the Constitution, which this administration is trampling all over, then there is no American people. There is no America. It's over. It's over. So I believe that the Constitution is above the American people. Because in general, the American people are a bunch of entitled, ungrateful, think that this life, the life that they know, this American life, is just going to be there for them forever. Without any kind of productivity, without any kind of political participation, without any kind of knowledge of any of the subject matters that I just mentioned. And I'm telling you right now, the American people, in my personal opinion, have become a threat to America's national security. And the proof is in who was just elected. And look, Trump and what he's doing was not something that was out of left field. I mean, I called all the shit that he's doing. Now, I said he was going to do all this shit. If you don't believe me, go back in the archive on YouTube or Rumble. All right? I said this was going to happen. But you people thought you knew better. You people thought you knew better. And now, I mean, what are we in here? What are we in? We're at a point now where Trump is building his own fucking Gestapo. All right? In this big, beautiful bill is $180 billion worth of funding for ICE. That's more than the Marine Corps gets. So why the hell get this ICE, this domesticated army, unless you're trying to bring in a police state? And you see, if we're bringing in a police state, who is this army trying to protect? Who is this army trying to put into their place? And you see, this goes against America. This goes against America. And you see, I find it ironic that some of you are like, oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good, you moron. 180 billion supposedly to get immigrants out, when in actuality it's a Gestapo, it's a police state. And yet, take a look. Nearly half of America's murderers get away with it. Okay? 180 billion in ICE funding, which is more than the Marine Corps, and yet under our current law enforcement system, under our current justice system, half of the people who are murdered get away with it. I mean, where's our priorities? Where's our priorities as a country? I'm telling you right now, our country is on its way down. Our country is dying. And unless there are people that are going to stand up, and look, I know I've been very critical of Elon Musk in the past, but the fact that he's coming out and he has no reason to do any of this. I mean, he has more to lose than he does to gain by doing any of this shit. And he's the only guy with the resources enough to be able to stop this destruction of this fucking country. And that's why I'm entertaining the American Party. And let me tell you, if the American Party fall under these tenets of fiscal conservatism, of a literal interpretation of the Constitution, the protection of the Constitution, I'm telling you right now, I think I'll go the American Party. I'm not even joking around. El Foxo, I'm not going to say that, dude. I'm not saying that disgusting fucking buy me a coffee, dude. I'm not saying that. All right, this ain't the Ghost Show, asshole. But anyway, look, I got a lot of people who talk shit that, hey, Ghost, you talked a lot of shit about Elon Musk, you know. What the fuck's your problem? Hey, that's fucking politics, asshole. All right? That's fucking politics. I mean, for all those that don't remember, I mean, once upon a time, Pete Hegseth thought Trump was a piece of shit. Yeah, the guy who's running the Department of Defense called Trump an armchair piece of shit. Here, play this shit. Play it. Listen to this.
It's typical Trump. All bluster, very little substance. He talks a tough game, but then when pressed on it, he's an armchair tough guy. I hate to say it, but this is a guy who said that John McCain is not a war hero, yet he sought his own 5 military deferments.
All right, 5 military deferments. All right, calls him an armchair hero in 2016, and miraculously, this guy is now the Department of Defense. Now, he's not the only one. Our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Let's listen to him once upon a time on Trump. All right, play this. Listen.
The stakes are giving control of the party of Lincoln and Reagan, of the conservative movement, and ultimately of the United States over to a con artist. That will not happen. I make this promise to you today.
Oh, yeah?
I will do whatever it takes. I will campaign as long as it takes. I will stay in this race as long as it takes. Donald Trump, a con artist, will never get control of this party.
Yeah, well... Yeah, once again, little Marco. So, for all you idiots that think that, oh, yeah, politics is a loyalty game, it's not about being loyal to people. It's about being loyal to ideas, which many of you absent-minded man-children, it goes right over your fucking head. You know, if it's not put in a fucking cartoon form or in video game form, it goes right over your fucking heads. And, you know, I always said that you loser man-children would suck dick for Chuck E. Cheese coins. Y'all remember that? And guess what? I mean, it's true. It's true. Take a look at this. Chuck E. Cheese launches new arcade for adults in 10 fucking states. And these are the American people that are supposed to save the country once we kick out all the productive illegals that are picking our food and building our houses. All right? This is the fucking pool we're going to have to choose from as employers. This fucking shit. All right? This fucking man-child bullshit. So there you go. All right? This is America, folks. All right? This is America. All right, and you want me to sit here and cry for a fucking 65% of American people that fucking take money out of my pocket? Fuck you! Fuck you! So they can go and, I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. So this is America, all right? This is America. Jesus Christ. And I got some Rumble rants. J Money donating my government EBT money right now. Fuck this economy. God bless the real America. We need more support for us minorities. All right, that was very sarcastic, J Money, but thank you for the $10 Rumble rant. And Kurt Johnson, are you going to discuss Microsoft laying off workers in hopes of replacing them with H-1B Jeets? Well, I mean, I tried to tell you that was what Trump was going to do. I tried to tell you that Trump was open to that shit. You people didn't believe me, so you got to eat it, all right? Maga! Red Eyes Black Dragon, I'm sorry, but Marco Rubio is a two-timing piece of shit. Well, a lot of people would tell you that. Thank you very much there, Red Eyes Black Dragon. And then we got Devious Dave, Ghost Con at Chuck E. Cheese. See what I'm talking about? I mean, man-child America is what we're dealing with here. I mean, this is America. Man-child America. This is America. And meanwhile, while you idiots are putting about 3 or 4 fingers in your shit funnel and gyrating at counterclockwise while watching some pre-teenage cartoon that was fucking imported from Japan, Trump is building the ICE security state. The nation of immigrants shifts to mass deportation is among the most shocking turns in American U.S. history. And it absolutely is, because it's not about immigrants. This $180 billion ICE funding is not about immigrants. It's about the police state. It's about creating a totalitarian police state. And the fact that you people are just falling asleep at the wheel is just unbelievable. It's just unfucking believable. And this is why I'm entertaining the American Party, because if we can elect people that are going to fucking disassemble this shit, stop this shit. I mean, that's what I want. I want people elected that are totalitarian happy, you know, that aren't going to unleash authoritarianism on the people. And Duke Orville, what's going on? 10 gifted subs on Rumble. Cheers to Duke Orville, man. All right, cheers to you, and thank you for chilling with me today on this Monday. And thank you for chilling with us on True Capitalist Radio, man. Cheers to Duke Orville once again. And everybody in Rumble should be giving him some thanks for hooking up some subs for you guys, man. Anyway, cheers once again to Duke Orville, man. Cheers, baby, cheers. And the real J Money with a $20 Rumble rant. Here's some more EBT money and Chuck E. Cheese coins. Please help us stop Trump. P.S. Do diaper signings. God bless real America. Of course, once again, the real, quote, J Money, wink, wink. But anyway, folks, this is where we're at in American history. This ICE is not for immigrants. It's for you. It's for me. And if you don't believe so, just wait till they start knocking at your door, because you're saying something that the state don't like. All right? And by the way, this is why these people are wearing masks. Why are they wearing masks? Why are they wearing masks? If they belong to a federal agency, why are they wearing masks? And all this shit that's happening, okay? All this shit that's happening is ruining the morale of America. All right? It's ruining the morale of America. I mean, take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Did you read about this? Nearly half of American expats are ready to ditch their U.S. citizenships. All right? I mean, these are people that are living abroad that are American citizens but want to just forget about it and ditch their U.S. citizenship. All right? I mean, this is the morale that's in America today. And we need something different, man. We don't need a government that's beating us up. We don't need a government that's putting us down. We don't need a government that is going to erase the optimism that this country always exuded. And that's why I'm considering the American Party. And let me tell you, if fiscal conservatism, a literal interpretation of the Constitution, a defined immigration policy that brings in the best and kicks out the worst, I'm not talking about American citizens, I'm talking about, these illegals from Tres Agua and MS-13 and that sort of thing. If we have a foreign policy in which America needs to sustain its continuity as the superpower in the international community, then I am down with the American Party. As a matter of fact, I would come out and face reveal and run for something if the American Party is 100% legitimate. Because, look, I like what Elon Musk said in a tweet. He said, look, if we do this, we have to narrow in and win 10 House seats and 3 Senate seats in order for the American Party to stop this madness in both houses of Congress. In both houses of Congress. And I think that's a very easy feat in 2026. I think it's a very easy feat. But that's if the American Party falls under these tenets. That's if the American Party is going to fall under the tenet of fiscal conservatism right off the bat. We know that Elon Musk is fiscal conservative. But we need to understand that the foundation of America is the American Constitution and the protection of the rights defined in that American Constitution and the protection of that document. Without the American Constitution, America is nothing. And you see, when American people lose sight of that social contract and their own selfishness, their own ungratefulness supersede the protection of that document in this country, we have to go another direction. And the proof is Trump being elected and him single-handedly kind of destroying this fucking country. And, I mean, I almost feel like I have to do this shit. I almost feel like I've been out here for almost 20 years advocating that, look, our country's dying. I said in 2008, 2009, when this show was called True Conservative Radio, I said that oral copulation between two men across the street from an elementary school was not only going to be accepted, it's going to be protected by the first goddamn amendment. And that's what happened. I said that the absolute pussification, the absolute utter pussification of the American male was being implemented because of single-parent mothers. I said that back in 2010, 2011. Look at what's happened. I mean, now I said that the future was going to consist of effeminate males wearing legging jeans in order to show anal camel toe. Okay? So this is where we're at this point in time, and nobody did a goddamn thing. The only people that did anything were a bunch of grifters that became podcasters and fattened their pocket by being propagandists. All right? So as far as I'm concerned, I almost feel like if Elon is fucking serious, and if the American Party is going to be defined by fiscal conservatism, a protection and a literal interpretation of the Constitution, a foreign policy that puts America superpower status as priority, I think I'm down with the American Party. I think I'm down with it, and I would run for something under the American Party. Because I love this country. I love America. I mean, if I was born in any other country, I would be garbage. I wasn't born into some rich family. I didn't have the best parents in the world. It was the opportunities accorded Americans, the opportunity in this country that enabled me to carve out the life that I wanted. And I had everything against me. I didn't have no parents that it supported me. I didn't have shit. But it was this country and the opportunities therein that let me live a very comfortable life a life that I think we all take for granted. And I want to protect that way of life, even if that means going against whatever the American people think that's in their best interest when it's not. Anyway, let me get to some of these Rumble rants. JJ Go West with a $10. Man, these politicians, left or right, are jesters on a stage of deception. They give the public a show based on the paradigm and behind the curtain high-five each other over who they fucked in the public the most. Well, thank you very much, JJ Go West. I kind of agree with that. That's why we need a third party. That's why we need a third party, man. And that's why Elon Musk, being the richest man in the world, he has the funds to be able to back up anybody who runs under the American party so that they won't be corrupted by the outside interests that corrupt every piece of shit that's in Washington, D.C. today. So that's another advantage. Having Musk and all the other millionaires and billionaires that he can able to bring them together, because something needs to be done about this fucking country. Everybody put their faith in Trump. I mean, Trump claimed that he was going to disassemble the fucking deep state. He was going to dismantle the deep state. Not only did he integrate himself in it, he's rapidly facilitating what the deep state's plans are. Jesus Christ. Red Eyes Black Dragon, please run, Ghost. Bring back Herman Cain's 999 tax policy. And we got the real J Money with another $10 Rumble rant. What is the American Party I missed? That part of the show. What exactly do they bring to the table? Well, what they bring to the table is an opposition to the duopoly that is the Republican and Democrat Party. I hope you all know now that no matter how much rhetoric is said on either side, they both want the same thing. They both want to tear up the Constitution. They both want to infringe upon our rights defined by the Bill of Rights. And I find it disgusting that nobody in America, at least legitimate, these leftists, who gives a shit if they raise up? That's what they do just for fun. Because they have no jobs. They get paid by the fucking government. They don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the left. What I care about is the American people that just want the American way of life to sustain itself and to be there when their children become adults. And the current way that we're going, doesn't matter what party right now, Democrat or Republican, we're just incrementally going more and more into a totalitarian police state. And that's not what this country was about. And you know what's so sad? The polarization of the politic in this country is pathetic. You know, we had some major, horrible floods that killed, almost 100 people so far out here in Texas. And you had Democrats and leftists saying, yeah, you deserve to die because you voted for Trump, so you get what you're voting for. I mean, who says that? Who does that? I mean, these are American people. These are innocent people, all right, that just happen to be caught up in a natural disaster. And you have that vitriol, you have that fucking hatred in you because of some fucking ridiculous politics that you or none of us really have any power to dictate what direction the politic of this country is going to go. It's a disgrace. It's an utter disgrace. J Money 9629, my granny's a tranny. Yeah, thanks a lot for the $5 Rumble rant. Anyway, I'm optimistic about the American Party. And if Musk is for real, I would consider face revealing and running for some shit. Now, you've got the Republicans out here a little worried because they believe that it's going to split the Republican Party. I disagree. I think that people that are center-right will entertain the American Party, and those that are center-left will entertain the American Party because that is where the power is. That's where the power is. Now, why is Elon Musk doing this? What is it that happened that kind of rained on the parade of that bromance that Elon Musk and Trump had? Well, folks, Trump backstabbed Elon Musk. He thought Elon Musk was having too much influence, and same with the people that are backing up Trump, especially Stephen Miller, okay? Especially Stephen Miller. Take a look at this. Trump said that he told the New York Times about Musk's alleged drug use. So he was the one that leaked that whole drug story, and Elon had to put out some drug test that he indirectly doxed himself by doing that, suggesting that he has no drugs in his system when it was Trump that leaked this out. Now, why the hell would Trump leak this out? Because for whatever reason, that cue ball Gorbel looking piece of shit, Stephen Miller, seems to be having the ear or the most influence with Trump at this point in time. And the proof is in this ICE funding. The proof is in this emphasis on deportation and immigration. That's all Stephen Miller. Now, why would Trump put out this for Stephen Miller? Well, because, folks, Stephen Miller's wife, all right, left her position at the White House in order to go with Elon Musk and his company. All right, put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. Breaking down the claims that Stephen Miller's wife, Katie, left him for Elon Musk. Now, she didn't leave him in a romantic sense. At least I don't think so. But she did leave Miller to go make money with Elon Musk's company. And you see, folks, that's why Musk left. Remember when Musk left in May and he had a black eye? Does anybody remember that? Put the PC shot. Remember this shit? Elon Musk says goodbye with a black eye. Not black guy, a black eye. I believe it was Stephen Miller that gave him that black eye. I believe it was Stephen Miller that gave him that black eye in some kind of private room conversation in which it got heated. I mean, you know, when you're going to take a guy's wife away, you know, they're not going to just sit around. You know, you're taking a guy's wife. So I think this is the root of why Elon has gone full nuclear on Trump and his entire administration. And arrogant bastard left Miller to go under Musk's table. Well, thank you, arrogant bastard. And ugly man, you're not afraid of the American Party splitting the conservative vote and libs running away from every position? No, I don't think so. And let me explain why. The American Party provides an opportunity for those that don't like the extreme left or the extreme right, because that is really what encompasses both parties right now. I mean, if you take a look at the fucking left and what they're getting behind, are you kidding me? Some fucking Muslim commie that's running under the Democratic ticket as the mayor of New York? AOC, that stupid dingbat socialist piece of shit? Bernie, prostate-infected fucking 89-year-old Sanders? The fact that the Democrats are doubling down on this bullshit goes to show you that they're going to remain unattractive for most of America. They're going to remain unattractive. So absolutely not. As a matter of fact, there is no more conservatism represented in either party. You think that the Republicans are conservatives? They almost made Scott Presler. And if you don't know who Scott Presler is, look up who he is. Flaming effeminate homosexual. Not that I have anything against that, but if you're going to label yourself a conservative party, you wouldn't want somebody like Scott Presler, who they entertained to be the fucking Republican chairman. They were entertaining the fucking Scott Presler to be the goddamn Republican chairman. So you can't tell me that anything is going to split up conservative. There ain't no conservative representation here. And either way, conservatism encompasses a lot. Okay? It encompasses fiscal conservatism, which is what the American Party, I believe, is going to put a point of emphasis on. Now, when it comes to social conservatism, I don't think that the American Party is going to encompass that. Because let's be honest, we live in a different America than we did about 40 or 50 years ago. And nowadays, we've got kids who won't grow up. We've got 45-year-olds going to Comic-Cons, anime cons. We live in a different world at this point in time. So this idea of being able to put a point of emphasis on conservatism is a moot point when we have such a decadent and man-child society. But you see, that's what America is supposed to encompass. I mean, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. We're supposed to accept everybody as they are. Let's just say gays, for instance. Now, I can say things about gays, whether or not I like them or I don't like them, as long as I'm not infringing upon their rights, as long as I'm not committing acts of violence on them, they're open season to criticism. And they have their right to exist. I mean, if gays are out there and they're existing, so long as they're not infringing upon my right, as long as they're not infringing upon anybody else's rights, as long as they're not committing crimes, as long as they're a law-abiding citizen, I mean, who are we to say anything about how people live their lives? Okay, who are we to say that? Now, if they're out there molesting children, if they're out there doing sex acts that could potentially be interpreted as sexual assault, well, then by all means, arrest them and put them in the slammer for a long period of time. But, I mean, the Republicans need to realize that, look, the American Party, let's put it that way. The American Party needs to recognize this, that we accept all, but you can't tell anybody what to do. All right? And that's what the LGBTQ did by utilizing the Democratic Party. They utilized the Democratic Party in order for them to obtain a level of status that was privileged status, to the point where you couldn't even criticize these folks, to the point where they were teaching this type of sexual activity, because that's what LGBTQ is. It's a sexual act. They were able to have the power to put this in schools. All right? I mean, that's the power they had. And that's something that can never be a reality again. And if you're somebody in the LGBTQ, I mean, you have to know that teaching this shit in school, teaching this shit to children is absolutely wrong. And I don't give a shit what you think. It's a lifestyle. It's a sexual act. It's a sexual act. It's a sexual perversion. It is not a lifestyle. It's not a culture. It's not like being black, okay? It's not like being black. You can't stop being black. You could stop being gay if you want. Jesus Christ. And look at Lucas Pill. Look, let me, Lucas Pill, since you're talking so much shit, let me use you as an example. Lucas Pill, who's in the fucking YouTube chat. This fucking guy has the audacity to talk all this shit to me when he lives with his fucking parents who are in a financial precarious situation, and this fucking guy refuses to get up off his fucking ass and get a fucking job because he thinks he's above these wage cuck jobs. All right? So, hey, Lucas Pill, get the fuck off my show and go and get some fucking applications to fucking McDonald's, you stupid piece of shit. All right? How the fuck can you sit here? My parents are having a little trouble financially. What are you doing? You're not doing shit. You're on the internet all day. All right? You're exactly the kind of person I'm talking about. You're exactly the kind of useless person I'm talking about that represents these generations of Americans that don't want to do shit. They can see their parents struggling. They live with them, and yet they won't get off the goddamn computer. They won't get off the fucking video game. It's fucking pathetic. All right, so Lucas Pill, get the fuck out of here. Go get a fucking job and help your fucking parents, you stupid fucking loser. All right? Get out of here and go help your fucking dickless parents who don't have the balls to kick you out. All right? Because that's where you belong, in the streets. Not fucking sitting behind a goddamn computer while your parents are busting their ass to feed your fucking ass. So get out. Get out. Oh, I helped them out at home. That's your fucking excuse, you fucking piece of shit? I helped them out at home. Get a fucking job, you stupid fucking loser! All right? Before you start talking shit to me, look at that fucking stupid homosexual that's in the fucking mirror that looks between your fucking beady eyes. Look at that piece of shit. Look at that piece of shit. Fucking asshole over here talking shit to me. Go out and get a fucking job. Look, yeah, I'm laughing my ass off. I help my parents. I bring in the groceries whenever mom comes home. I bring in the groceries, okay? I take out the trash, guy. Fucking loser. Fucking losers, man. I mean, I had to. This guy's fucking talking mad shit. And it's like, okay, but this is MAGA. This is the fucking kind of garbage that's talking shit online. These are the people that are like, yeah, why don't they hire Americans? Why don't they hire Americans? Because you don't fucking want to put in an application, all right? You're too busy getting your thumbs bruised on a fucking video game and putting about 2 or 3 fingers up your fucking shit funnel and fucking gyrating it counterclockwise whenever a fucking cartoon comes on. Fucking loser. Get off my show and go get a fucking job and take care of those dickless parents who don't have the fucking guts to kick you out. Fucking piece of shit. Anyway, sorry y'all had to see that. I'm just saying there's some fucking idiot who's been talking mad shit, and this guy has the audacity to talk shit when he's mooching off his fucking parents. He's mooching off his fucking parents. I mean, the gall of people. You see, this is the America I'm talking about. These are the loudest fucking assholes that are like, yeah, hire American. Yeah, hire, yeah. And doesn't even have a fucking job, lives with his fucking parents. And he's fucking mid-20s and shit, maybe late 20s. Fuck you, dude, all right? Fuck you and your parents that refuse to kick your fucking loser ass out. Piece of shit. Anyway, sorry about that. I mean, it was a tension breaker. It had to be said, all right? All right. Anyway, Real J Money, why did you never attempt to get into some form of office? Seriously, you're too vigorous.
They're eating the cats.
I'm considering it, all right? The Real J Money, I'm considering it, dude. I really am. If Elon is serious, I'll consider it. I'm not even joking around. And arrogant bastard, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they also piss the bill to make it illegal to talk shit about Israel? That's law, baby. All right. Now they're saying that it's for illegals, but okay, we'll see. Arrogant bastard, the glory of freedom of speech, but it's not freedom of consequence. And these are all Rumble rants, by the way. We got the Real J Money. Goddamn Ghost is out there cooking tonight with logic. Thank you. All right, the Real J Money, thank you. Cheers to the Real J Money over here. And then we got Purple Juice. Whoa, some real shit going down. I got a job after I lost my parents. Sad to be a Debbie Downer. Well, you have to, Purple Juice. All right? I mean, that needs to happen to Lucas Pill over here because he's got some fucking parents that are too chicken shit to tell this loser to stop playing video games and get a fucking job. But you see, even if he does get a job, he's already told me, I don't want a wage cut job. I'm going to wait around until I become a fucking CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And I'm talking Lucas Pill over here at the YouTube chat, he is like every fucking Gen Z and millennial. I mean, they think that certain amounts of labor are beneath them, even though they don't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. They've got no skills. They've got nothing. And yet they think that they deserve some fucking 6-figure job when they have no experience in doing a goddamn thing. Jesus Christ. And we got Devious Dave. I have a cousin who's obsessed with Pokemon. He's 26, unemployed, and streams TF2 all day thinking he's going to turn it into a career. Well, that's what this is the man-child America that I keep complaining about, Devious Dave. This is the man-child America that I'm talking about. And the fact that we're deporting the productive, working people, and now that our fucking crops are rotting and all this, I mean, we're going to be left with the likes of a Lucas Pill. You know, some fucking loser who doesn't have enough testicular fortitude to get a fucking job, doesn't have enough pride to see his working parents struggling to go out there and, I don't know, fucking do something to bring in some fucking money to the household. No, his excuse, I help my mom bring groceries when she comes home from work every day. I help around the house. Jesus Christ. This is America. This is fucking America. And Ram Ranch Cowboy, you're sick, dude. All right, Ram Ranch Cowboy, you're sick. Deport Lucas Pill. Look, I didn't mean to pick on the guy, but he's talking a lot of shit. And, I mean, how can you talk shit when you live with your parents, you're jobless, you have no fucking, no credibility, you have no experience in doing shit, and yet you think that you're some kind of a political expert, you know, and yet you think you know what's best for America. That's great. No experience in doing a goddamn thing, and lives in his fucking room, can't even help his parents, but he believes that he can help the country. That's great, dude. Yeah, real good, Lucas. Jesus Christ. And we got Joe N-word.
They're eating the cats.
Hold on, I'll get to that one also in just a second. Joe N-word, I'll admit, I'm probably considered a centrist in the traditional sense and hate the state of both parties. But with that said, the issue is with a centrist party is that centrist have become such a meme now. Notice how so many people consider themselves centrist, yet they only shit talk one side. Well, that's why there needs to be another party. All right, that's why there needs to be another party there, Joey N-word. And here's another one. I'm making my own party, by the way. Here's what I'll do. Make Twinkies and prune juice illegal. Have Trump. I'm not going to say that. All right, I'm not saying that Joe N-word. All right. Anyway, I'm just saying, folks. I mean, I've been on here for like an hour and 36 minutes, and this is why I don't like doing these shows. Because the American public, they think they're political when they don't know shit. They don't know shit. They don't know a goddamn thing. And it's sad. It really is sad what's happening here. Anyway, let me give a breakdown of some international news. All right, the real J Money, he said, some of us have diaper problems. We can't do anything besides help mommy and daddy at home. Thank you, God and Trump, for the EBT. I can't work. All right. Yeah, thanks a lot, J Money. All right. Good God. And Blades Colon with a Rumble rant. You want a new party? There's a party in my pants and you're invited. All right. You see what I'm talking about here? You see this shit? You see this fucking shit? That's why we got the Ruskies now taking our very bad morale and are trying to troll us with it. Have you seen the Ruskies? Look at this. Ruski's anti-woke visa lures those fearing of moral decline in the West. So are you seeing this shit? Are you seeing this? Even the Ruskies are trying to, fucking troll us and say, you want the moral? Come to Mother Russia. We'll have morals. All right, everybody in America is a very stupid person. And Devious Dave, if you run for office, will you work at a Popeyes for a day like Trump? Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's what Russia's doing, all right? Trying to lure Americans, for Christ's sake. I mean, they already have our president. I mean, they already got him because that moronic drunk that's the Department of Defense head has stopped the weapons shipments into Ukraine. And right as they do that, it's like an open season for Putin. Take a look at this. Endless onslaught. Bloodthirsty Putin pounding Ukraine with close to 1,000 missiles and kamikaze drone in a day in a brazen defiance of Trump. I'm not too sure if it's defiance of Trump. I think Trump wants this to happen. I think that there's too much sucking of the schlong of Putin for anyone to suggest that there is not something going on between Trump and Russia. All right? Come on, man. And I don't know how this benefits America in any regard. I don't understand how sucking the schlong head of Putin benefits America in any capacity whatsoever. And it's just emboldening this guy into continuing on, not only with this Ukraine military front, but I think that he's going to continue. I think that Putin will continue, and it's going to be Trump's fault, in my opinion. I think this is a dangerous fucking game of diplomacy. I think this is a dangerous game that Trump's playing. And the fact that nobody within the apparatus of the government is stopping Trump from doing this is just ridiculous. We got arrogant bastard. Did you hear North Korea is going to send another 30,000 meat shields to Russians' front line? Well, let them do it. I think that North Korea, the fact that they're sending North Koreans in there and they're getting mowed down like they're no big deal, it kind of shows that North Korea is a paper tiger. And that's why little Kim, or Kim Jong-il, or excuse me, Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il is his father, the reason that he is going full throttle with ballistic missile production and weapons production is because he knows that he needs another deterrent because his army isn't worth the shit. His army, his people, they don't want to fucking fight for this guy. All right, so I think that there's a reason why he's doing this. And besides, he's sending 30,000 of his men while Russia is buying massive amount of armaments and ammunition and all kinds of shit from North Korea. As a matter of fact, Russia is making a boom in North Korea because of this. So, FYI. Hey, Red Eyes Black Dragon, come on, Ghost, run for Texas Senate. Get that Canadian-Mexican Ted Cruz out of office. I'd think about it if Elon Musk is serious. If Elon Musk is serious. All right, thank you very much. Once again, Red Eyes Black Dragon. And Dandy Jersey, I agree, Ghost. I have a STEM degree, but was laid off about 2 months ago. Currently working a wage cuck job unloading trucks while applying. You have to take advantage of your youth while you can. Thank you, Dandy Jersey. I mean, look, I know I went off on Lucas Pilled over there. He's probably crying in a puddle of his own blood and piss. But, I mean, if you have parents that are kind enough to let you stay at their home without asking a dime, without asking for anything, why the fuck are you not working and saving all your fucking money when you have the energy of youth on your side? I mean, why the fuck would you just waste your youth waxing your carrot to fucking anime cartoons or getting your thumbs bruised on gaming controllers? Why would you do that and waste your time when you have mom and dad that ain't gonna charge you rent? They're not charging you for food. Why aren't you going out and working whatever job? Whatever fucking job. I don't care if you think it's beneath you, you fucking loser. And saving all that money if mommy and daddy ain't gonna fucking charge you for anything. I just don't stand. I don't understand. Lucas Pilt, what is stopping your fucking lazy ass from going out there and getting any kind of fucking job to help your poor fucking parents, which are probably old? What's stopping you?
You know what? I'm waiting for the good job. I'm waiting for...
This is what we're dealing with America. This is what we're dealing with. And look, I've talked to Lucas Pill. He's a fairly intelligent kid. I mean, he's in his mid-20s, and yet all that intelligence wasted. All right? Wasted just sitting around playing with his pud all fucking day. All right? And yet his parents will let him stay there, and he loves his parents. I don't blame him. He should love his parents. They're letting him stay there for fucking free. He should be kissing their fucking ass. But why isn't he going out there and getting a fucking job and saving every fucking red cent? I have no idea. All right, why don't you tell us right now, fucking Lucas Pilled? Why don't you tell us what's prohibiting you from going out there and getting a job and saving all your fucking money until your mom and dad are no longer on this earth because they die of old age? What's prohibiting you from doing that shit? Just admit you're a lazy piece of shit just like the rest of the American youth. You're a lazy piece of shit. All right, just admit it. I'm a lazy, loudmouth piece of shit that thinks I know it all when I don't know shit. Jesus Christ. Anyway, sorry, folks. I know I'm a little upset, a little angry today, but it is what it is. We got Real J Money starting after the show discussing, and we'll discuss better ways to increase benefits to us immigrants and remove more stuff from the ungrateful Americans. Well, I'm not talking about doing anything like that. I'm just simply stating that if you're going to talk all this shit, all right, and he's been talking a lot of shit. I don't know why. I guess he's pro-Trump or something. He doesn't like that I'm entertaining the fucking American party for some reason. But if you're going to talk all that shit, then don't talk shit knowing that you admitted that you're a fucking loser that lives with your fucking parents and you don't want to do shit. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're going to talk shit to me, then don't admit that you are just going to fucking sit at fucking home, not do shit, and just be a fucking loser. And I hope that this fucking opens up his eyes. I'll be honest. I hope this opens up his fucking eyes and he does some shit. Anyway, sorry, folks. All right. Hold on. Kits does a flip just in. Oh, dude, a fucking 180. Are you fucking kidding me? Even though I agree with this, I'm sure. I mean, hold on. Take a look at Hegseth body language here. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this shit. Are you kidding me?
Mr. President, are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons. Yeah, defensive weapons primarily, but they're getting hit very, very hard.
So he's going to send weapons back to Ukraine. What, dude, I was just talking about this. Literally, this just came out a fucking couple of minutes ago. He's going to send weapons to Ukraine. Well, I mean, look, I completely agree with that, but at the same time, I mean, come on, Maine. What are you MAGA people still holding on to? All right? I mean, this is why I wrote an article on Ghost.Report. Stop listening to these MAGA influencers, the cat turds, the Jack Prosobics, the Charlie Kirks, these fucking pieces of shit, the quartering. They all lied. They all lied to your asses. So, here we go, all right? Now, what are they going to do? What are they going to spin that? How are they going to spin that shit? And Ram Ranch Cowboy Neat Life sounds pretty comfy. Well, not after the cuts from the big, beautiful bill, buddy. And Purple Juice, half of America are arrogant, entitled, lazy pieces of shit. Ghost, it's a fact. I try to tell them, but you try to tell these Americans that, you know, they think that, you know, you're some fucking terrorist or something. Now, aside from Trump going back on not sending any more weapons to Ukraine, which I think is good news on the foreign policy front, lest we forget that Trump has given his undying loyalty to Benjamin Netanyahu. Okay? Take a look at this. Trump and Netanyahu meet as new Middle East test loom. All right? Now, what Middle East test are we talking about? All the shit that has taken place in the Middle East after the October 7th attacks on Israel. Israel has gone into Gaza. It's gone into Lebanon. It has bombed Iran. It has bombed the Houthis. I mean, it is, you know, causing a lot of turmoil in the Middle East. And Trump is trying to figure out how to calm all this down or how to negotiate this to some capacity. But he has given his undying loyalty to Netanyahu. He's even put out a Truth Social promoting Netanyahu and how the Israeli justice system is out to get him and how the Israeli political system is out to get him. So he is ride or die with Netanyahu. All right. And that's something I tried to put as a point of emphasis when discussing Trump back in 2024. And of course, nobody listened. Everybody called me a Democrat and shit. Well, the prognosticator strikes again. And by the way, Israel is in a desperate situation because it has started wars on a lot of fronts and it needs more boots on the ground. Now, there's been a very big contentious situation going on with the Orthodox Jews in Israel wanting to be conscripted. You know, these Orthodox Jews believe that they should have an exemption from being conscripted into this war with Israel. Well, not anymore. Take a look at this, all right? Israel issues 54,000 call-up notices to ultra-Orthodox students. So this exemption that had these Orthodox, ultra-Orthodox Jews exempted from any kind of warfare, that's gone out the window. And this kind of shows that Israel, even though they are, you know, getting some, I guess, military wins, they're desperate. I mean, they are losing a lot of Israelis. And look, this Israeli military campaign is not popular with the population of Israel. I mean, there are protests all the time, every weekend. They are not happy. They're a little battle fatigued. And it's going to be interesting what Israel plans on doing, considering the situation that they're in. Now, if you want my personal opinion, I think that given the fact that Netanyahu is being vigorously pursued by the Israeli government, by the Israeli justice system, I don't think that Netanyahu can afford to stop the war. I don't think that I sincerely don't think that he can afford to stop the war. Because if he does, then that's, I think, open season for him to be prosecuted. So let's see what happens. I mean, there's a report. I didn't bookmark it, but I should have. There was a report out of the Israeli Times that suggests that the Israelis are almost convinced Trump to attack Iran again. All right, to attack Iran again. And check this out. Iran's president, after being bombed by those stealth bombers, now is coming out and saying that he wants to open up a dialogue with the U.S. All right? Before, the Iranian president, about 3 months ago, told Trump to do whatever the hell he wants when it comes to bombing. And after that stealth bombing, and look, I'll give Trump and whoever the credit. That stealth bombing on Iran was a pretty good operation. It was a pretty good operation, and the fact that you've got the president of Iran now talking a different tune suggests that that operation was a success. Now, what is there to talk about? I mean, the whole reason why we hit them up is because they continue to pursue this nuclear enrichment program. And Trump has already said that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. So with that being said, it's going to be very interesting if there is dialogue between the Iranians and the United States and whether or not we're going to allow them to continue to pursue their nuclear enrichment, or they're going to allow the International Energy and Atomic, the IAEA, I should say, agency to go in there and inspect and prove that they're not enriching uranium and that sort of thing, or are we going to continue to play this fucking game with the Iranians? I don't know. I have no idea. But the fact that you got the Iranian president coming out willing to now talk goes to show you that that stealth bomber military operation by the United States was a success. Now, with that being said, let's take a transition, no pun intended, to talk about China. All right. Now, very interesting what has happened here. The BRICS, the BRICS summit happened here this past weekend. And who was a no-show? Xi Jinping, missing in action from the BRICS summit, which is a very telling sign because, as I've told you all, this alliance between China and Russia, I have always said, is pure optics. Pure optics. All right? And the reason I say that is because ever since the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, there hasn't been any true partnership in any kind of military capacity between China and Russia. Okay? There is no Chinese weapons being shipped to Russia. There's no Chinese men. There's nothing. No commitment whatsoever. There's barely any economic commitments. So, I mean, actions speak louder than words. All right? Actions speak louder than words. Now, the reason Xi Jinping wasn't at the BRICS summit is because he's in a very giant pickle in his country right now. Now, as I've stated, China is in an economic precarious situation because of the tariffs, because of this new stance, this aggressive stance that we're having in trade on China, and it is having an effect. I'm not against tariffing China. It's all this reciprocal tariff announcement and announcing it to the world like an idiot is what I disagree with Trump on. All right? It's what I disagree with. But let's talk about China for a second before I digress. Now, the reason Xi Jinping didn't show up to BRICS is because why bother? All right? He's tried to set up all this bullshit with the BRICS countries, like, trade, and, they're trying to implement some kind of currency and shit. And these fucking idiot people at the BRICS, these idiot countries are all talk. And Xi Jinping knows it. So he's got to deal with his own problems. He's got to deal with his goddamn his economy. All right? The Chinese economy is suffering badly. And here's a pretty good article about it. Put the PC shot on. 10 challenges facing China's economy. China's economic problems are structural, and the response so far has not tackled the root causes. All right? So let's talk about the 10 economic challenges. The one, hardly any fiscal room. And the reason there's no fiscal room is because these fucking Chinese have been printing their already debased currency in proportions that I don't even know if they're going to be able to come back from. I mean, they're doing the same shit that Japan did back in '89. All right? And Japan, their gums are still bleeding from printing out all that money in the late 80s. So there's no fiscal room whatsoever to be doing anything. Okay, first and foremost. Second, monetary policy constraints. They have such a debased currency that even if it wanted to become the world currency, it can't. I mean, they've been printing out money, and the whole theory around this is so that imports that are imported from other countries into China cannot compete. And that the country is so debased, or the currency of the country is so debased, that if you attempted to bring in a product or a service into China, that it's not even worth the attempt. And that's why they debase their currency. Okay? But at the same time, it has ruined their economy at a point where they need some kind of monetary policy to get the economy rolling. Now, what's wrong with the economy? There's no domestic demand for the products that they have produced. Okay? They're such an economic juggernaut that they're producing all this crap, and they're trying to tell the people to purchase it, but they've produced so much that the people can't purchase it all. Okay? So there's not enough domestic demand in order to be able to accommodate all the shit that's produced in the manufacturing base of China. All right? Now, the fourth challenge is external demand and geopolitical challenges. Now, you see, because the United States has this very hard stance economically on China, and we don't purchase as much crap as we used to from them, China is attempting to try to find other trading partners that'll offset the consumption of America, and they can't do it. They can't do it. I mean, America did so much consumption that China, once we started decoupling and started throwing tariffs, they can't find anyone else. They can't find anyone else to be able to consume as much product as the United States. So external demand for their product is, and they got a surplus. I mean, everybody gives China all this praise because they look like some techno city with all the lights on the buildings and shit. You know what that is? That's all the surplus garbage that they had from their manufacturing plants that they fucking glued up on their buildings, and everybody thinks that they're some fucking sophisticated society. It's a fucking ruse. It's pathetic. So, once again, external demand for their products, you know? And what were we just talking about? Overcapacity. That's the next challenge. Challenge number 5. Overcapacity and deflationary pressures. Because you see, they overproduce. I mean, it says it right here. China's industrial capacity is simply too much to absorb. China's capacity has a rate drop from peak 2021 and is close to levels seen during the pandemic. So they can't sell their crap. I mean, and this is the kind of lesson I believe this administration, as well as the last administration, was trying to put towards China. That, hey, China, I know you're saber rattling. I know you're talking a bunch of shit. I know that the Asian thing to do is death before dishonor, but we're the only ones that are going to consume the amount of crap that you produce. No one else is going to produce, or excuse me, no one else is going to consume that amount of crap. So now they're left with it just kind of rotting in the fucking manufacturing plants and the warehouses. Another challenge, stubbornly low private consumption without policy support. Now, there was an NBA player that went out to play basketball in China. And one of the comments that he said was that Chinese people don't spend money on anything. Like, they save their money and they don't spend it on a goddamn thing. They don't even buy a Coke. So they're very frugal with their money. And when you have overcapacity of production and you've got to get rid of this crap from the factory and the domestic population isn't consuming, China's got a serious problem. China's got a serious problem. The seventh challenge is the real estate is still contributing to asset price deflation. Now, what this means is, folks, is that their gross domestic product, their GDP, 30% of their GDP is Chinese real estate. Let me repeat that one more again. 30% of the Chinese GDP is real estate. That's why that Evergrande crisis, which is the largest real estate development in China, that's why it was so scary, because if Evergrande goes, then the contagion of the real estate market crashing in China will permeate through every other industry in China. So this is another bad situation that China is in. Let's go to number 8. Overinvestment at the cost of increasingly low returns. Now, you all know, folks, that China has been making massive amounts of investment all over the international community. All right? I mean, we talked about the Belt Road Initiative in Pakistan. We talked about a lot of the investments in Africa. And they're making a lot of investments with very low returns. So they're just spending like they're going out of style, and yet they're not getting anything in return for it. So this is another challenge. Once again, economic challenge of China. And the ninth challenge is a shrinking population. And why are they having a shrinking population, folks? Because of the one-child policy that was implemented during fucking Mao Zedong's era, or whatever the fuck they implemented that. The dumbest policy in world history. Meaning that you can only have one child per family. And you see, I think that's what leaves them vulnerable, in my opinion, when it comes to warfare. Because if China deploys Chinese infantry, and once they start getting the first pack of casualties, I think it would demoralize China in general. Because there's something in China called the little emperor syndrome. The little emperor syndrome, meaning that every family puts that one child on a pedestal as if they're an emperor, because all the family bloodline, all the lineage is dependent on that one child. And if that child is deployed in a military deployment and gets killed, well, I think that's a demoralizing factor that could happen, in my personal opinion. And that's why China, even though they're saber rattling and pretending that they're going to do shit, they're not going to do shit. And I think that the shrinking population and the little emperor syndrome is a good example on why. Now, the 10th and final challenge to the Chinese economy, U.S. technological containment, meaning our sanctions from selling them semiconductors, NVIDIA chips, that sort of thing. That right there is halting their innovation. So these are the challenges right now that China is facing, and that's why Xi Jinping wasn't at the BRICS summit. And by the way, Trump announced that he is potentially going to add 10% tariffs on all BRICS countries right after the BRICS meeting this past weekend. So once again, this is why we're seeing some negativity in the stock market. But who knows? It could be all taco. Who knows? Could be all taco. Arrogant bastard. Yep. Ghost. Those same buildings are made of piss poor steel and dirt. So when a strong wind blows, it'll fall down. He's talking about all those buildings in China. Believe me, I know. Believe me. And Mr. Midnight, you simping for Elon's party. Well, first of all, go back in the VOD. All right, Mr. Midnight. It's obvious. I don't know. Your shift at the bus stop sucking schlong heads for $5 a pop is over. And now you're listening to the broadcast. Listen to the VOD, jerk off, all right? Jesus Christ. See what I got to put up with here? Oh, yeah, Kits does a flip. Where you got a rumble rant, too. Jesus Christ. Let me do my show, for Christ's sake. Kits does a flip. Netanyahu is considering getting Trump a Nobel Peace nomination. More proof the Nobel Peace Prize is just Razzies for bloodthirsty human beings in disguise. Well, good point. Kits does a flip. Very good point. All right, look, I think I'm about done. I was going to go over a few other things, but I don't think they're very important. One thing I do want to say is the floods that are happening in Texas. I was trying to tell everybody. As a matter of fact, you go back in the archive, the past several shows, I was trying to tell everybody that Texas leads the nation in weather modification. All right, and people don't believe me. I tweeted about this. Take a look at this, okay? Put the PC shot on. This right here is the Texas Weather Modification Association. And this is where they target. Just so happens to be the areas in which that got flooded, okay? And here's the link to the organization. All right? Take a look at this. South Texas Weather Modification Association. 10 counties, 2.5 million acre feet, and they've been doing this shit since 96. They've been doing this shit since 96. So we lead the way in weather modification, and that's why I find it very odd that it won't stop raining out here in Texas. It won't stop raining. And I think we need to ask these questions on whether or not, weather modification had anything to do with these floods. And I think that's a serious question. Now, with that being said, I do want to give acknowledgement to somebody who was out there saving people during these floods. And it's this guy named Scott Ruskin. Coast Guard hero saved 165 people from Texas floods. And this is the guy right here. 26-year-old went out, rescued 156 people single-handedly. And not only this guy, but every first responder out there who was responding to the floods, taking innocent people who were stuck on their roofs, who were stuck in the floods on trees, who got swept away in their cars. This is what America is all about. And this is why we need to allocate resources to the appropriate agencies, to the appropriate government bureaucracies, so that if there's ever some kind of natural disaster, we have these types of individuals to come in and help the American people. This is why we pay taxes. And I want to say cheers to Scott Ruskin, and I want to say cheers to everybody out there on the ground helping everybody during these Texas floods. All right, God bless you. God bless everybody who was affected by this flood, and rest in peace to all the folks that fell victim to this flood. All right, so cheers to everybody out there on that. All right, I don't like to cover that because people are politicizing this flood, and it's not really a political issue. We should be asking questions whether or not weather modification had anything to do with this weather anomaly. With that being said, let's go ahead and go to totally useless news. All right, that's what I do at the end of every True Capitalist Radio. Let's go to totally useless news. All right, put the PC shot on it. You heard about this? This is fucking ridiculous. All right, take a look at this. Australian man charged with cattle theft after $100,000 load of bull semen is found on his person. I'm not joking. $100,000 load of bull semen. Grafton man faces 20 charges after police uncover embryos, a tank of semen, and the alleged deceptive sale of Wagyu cows. So it's about the money, all right? It's about the money, man, all right? Oh, fuck you, IC member. Go fuck off, asshole, all right? Once again, totally useless news. This is what I do at the end of the broadcast every time, all right? It was on his face. Ah, Jesus Christ, shut up. Tim Walz at it again. Tim Walz at it again. Now, look, I did bring up the fact that we do have Chuck E. Cheese locations for adults that are going up all across the country. And I said that was man-child America. This totally useless news encompasses what I say. Take a look at this. Duncanville burglar suspect in a Scooby-Doo costume. A Scooby-Doo, all right? That's how man-child America we are. Fucking assholes are going on in their furry outfits committing crime. Man-child America. That's what the fuck this shit is. It's man-child America. Ruh-roh. Man-child America. Good God. Red Eyes Black Dragon. Hey, Ghost, congrats to Boogie 29880. Proposed to some hoe. Yeah, it's all fake and gay, if you want my personal opinion. And Kirk Johnson, is that Pinochet? And Ram Ranch Cowboy, the floods are God's divine punishment for banning enemy. All right, that's enough. I'm done. All right? I'm done. All right? Anyway, folks, I'm going to start doing True Capitalist Radio more frequently because I think that we need to have a discussion on whether or not this American party is going to be legit and whether or not Elon Musk is serious and whether or not they're going to oblige the tenets that I had mentioned earlier in the broadcast when discussing the American party. And if they do encompass those tenets, I sincerely will consider running for something under the American party, but that's if Elon Musk is serious. All right? If you're serious, Elon, let's do this. If not, well, I certainly ain't going to go and run for no Republican Party, especially at the current state of this Republican Party now. And we got the arrogant bastard with a rumble rant. Hey, Ghost, good show. Thanks for the show. Thank you, arrogant bastard. Cheers to you, man. All right? By the way, I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. All right? And if you want to become a member, all you got to do is go to buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics. And once you do, you go down here where it says become a member. And once you do, you'll be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Now, believe it or not, folks that have been a $25 member for the past year and change, I'm automatically inviting them into the inner circle. All right? Because they've been, and cheers to everybody who's been a part of the $25 a month True Capitalist Radio chat. They get an automatic, or if you pay the year in advance at $25, you get a free membership into the inner circle, all right? So once again, cheers to everybody out there, all right? I appreciate each and every one of you. And once again, if you haven't done so, please spread the word about the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And also, follow me on X, which is my social media of choice. Put the PC shot on. All right, there it is, The Ghost Report. All one word, no underscores, The Ghost Report. And hey, take a look. We got 323 viewers. I do broadcast True Capitalist Radio on X and on YouTube. So cheers to you folks that are on YouTube and X. Thank you very much for chilling with us and spread the word. And by the way, take a look at my latest article about car vloggers. It is pinned to my profile. I think it's all right, in my opinion. All right. Anyway, cheers to each and every one of you. I'm going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room in about 15 to 20 minutes. There will be a ghost show tomorrow. All right. And once again, the Ghost Show is a little bit of internet tomfoolery. All right. It's nothing like this show. So if you're thinking that the Ghost Show is going to be anything like the True Capitalist Radio show, it isn't. All right. It's comedic. It's a late night show. Let's just put it that way. So cheers to the folks that are going to attend and listen to the Ghost Show tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard United States, Texas time. All right. And we got Duke Orville, who hooked it up with another 10 gifted subs over there at Rumble. Unbelievable. All right. Cheers to Duke Orville. Everybody in Rumble should be thanking Duke Orville for the gifted subs, man. All right. Cheers to Duke Orville. I appreciate it, man. All right. Cheers to you, man. And thank you for chilling with us on a True Capitalist Radio on a Monday, man, on a Monday. And by the way, not only am I going to be on the True Capitalist Radio chat room, but I'm going to make a movie night specifically for the True Capitalist Radio chat room, and it's going to be on Sundays, okay? So this way I can show movies that aren't just exclusively on these free sites, all right? So just FYI, we're going to have a movie society in the True Capitalist Radio member chat every Sunday. Every fucking Sunday, all right? So just FYI, all right? Anyway, folks, it's been great. I've been on here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I think it's been a great show, and I hope that you found it informative, all right? Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in with me. Ghost Show tomorrow. Until then, I'm out of here.